All right. So December 7th, anniversary of Pearl Harbor, part 2. Now, I mentioned Dr. Emoto. How am I going to tie that in with 9/11 and why I was right about the predictions, why I knew about it 7 years before it happened, and blah, 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 blah. Connecting the dots is easy. You just have to have the guide to tell you. And this is why I'm telling you, you need an emperor, and I'm not kidding, over the president, over the vice president, over Congress, over to make this final decisions, because I know the future. And you don't. You don't have as clear a picture. None of you do. And even the greatest psychics in the world, I went through hell, pain and agony, and I'm still going through it. And I've been the one that has been chosen to pick all of these future events, to avert these future bad events from happening. And the only way you're going to get out of it is by, like I said, you scrap your government at the state, federal, and local level and let me get at every person that did this damage to me. Because the only way, the people that did the direct damages to me, the only way they're going to get out of me going after them is if they all pray to this so-called alleged God. And I wake up tomorrow morning 16 because they destroyed my life. And we all know that hasn't happened to anybody on planet Earth, except maybe in the movies. Now, Dr. Emoto took some, and that's spelled E-M-O-T-O, and he took crystal waters, and water from all places, and fountains, and the Lord's fountains, where the Song of Bernadette took place, and all these miraculous places, and saunas and baths, and there's a number of books published by him. And he put, and you'll see this representation also in the movie called What the Bleep. In that movie, they go, the deaf and dumb lady goes down to the what do you call the subway, and Dr. Emoto has all of his stuff out, and they're showing that his crystals, his crystalline experiments, he would freeze water in petri dishes, and before and after he would place computerized printed words on the water, and he would put good and bad statements on the water, like good statements, I love you, I care about you, you're beautiful. And then he would put bad statements on the same waters, different bottles, but all the same water. And the water, here's the reaction the crystals formed when the water was frozen. The crystals in the nice statements formed beautiful, and let's get rid of the word beautiful. Let's just talk symmetry together. Okay, good symmetry, structured symmetry, and unstructured symmetry. I hate to use good and bad, so let's use it that way. So he took these good, or these established symmetry statements, and then he took and he took pictures of it, and all the crystals formed with stable symmetry. They were beautiful. A lot of people say they're beautiful, all crystalline like snowflakes, all the beautiful patterns. Then he took the crystals that he had put negative statements on, negative symmetry, and they all came out deformed, out of color. None of them were really white. They were broken. The symmetry was all broken in every last one of them. And these were repeated experiments. And you've got to pick up his books to get a deep meaning of when I talk about quantum theory, and there are no coincidences. Trust me, if you follow every one of the things that I've been telling you to follow, to put together in your own way, you're going to come up with no other conclusion except the one that I'm going to give you at the end of this recording. Now, in England, there are a lot of talks about ghosts and people who talking to people who've already passed on. And they see ghosts too, and people have seen ghosts, and you see all these representations, but none of it has ever really scientifically been proven. How do you prove that a ghost is a ghost, or really a ghost? You have an interview with them on television? No. No one's done it. Just like no one's proven that there's a God. Beyond not using faith, there's no scientific proof that there's a God or that there's even an afterlife. There are indicators, sometimes strong indicators, that leaves you with the impression that there are. And my views at the end of this, my interpretations, will be strong indicators. Heavy circumstantial evidence. Now, a lot of people have seen the movie Avatar. In Avatar, they say that the planet is alive. Remember in the previous video I said that even the stories that you've heard are not stories, they're not coincidence. These are stories that are already there. They're in the human mind. They've been there for probably millions of years, all wrapped up in the DNA. Remember one of the other videos I told you how long the DNA is, that it is longer than, stretches out beyond our solar system, which is, only about 3 to 6 billion miles wide, or at least from the sun to the edge. So if the DNA is that complicated and there's that much information, it's not coincidence. We are representations of, this is why I said earlier, you have to be careful not to kill people, because you never know what you're killing. You may ruin the chances for the human race. That could be a savior that's going to have a hand, or a savioress, man or woman, that is going to have a hand in saving the planet from total annihilation. You never know. You hear stories, science fiction stories, all the time about that. Why? Listen carefully. Follow these things I'm telling you, because I keep leaning forward because I'm looking at the time clock there and I can't see it too well. It's in tiny letters. I'm 7 minutes into this video. So, Professor Emoto proves that something, and when he put these statements, computerized statements on the water, get ready for the shocker. They were in every language. Japanese, English, French, Swedish, it doesn't matter. Every time he used a different language, it was the same results. So whatever is in the water, which, by the way, runs through our veins, our blood is also water. No life without water. Water is alive. You can only have one conclusion. There's an intelligence in water. It's like Star Trek. It's like Captain Kirk going, hey, you're just another intelligent being in one of the movies. And the being got all pissed off at Kirk and zapped Spock and Kirk because who are these beings? Because Kirk was challenging. Why would a supreme entity need a starship to go someplace in a vast universe so big? And the supreme entity, remember I mentioned this in the other video about how tiny the earth is? Why would a supreme being even bother with something that is so tiny? In comparative comparison, we not being able to see an atom, I'm sure a God that's bigger than the universe can't even see the earth. All of it, with all its people. So you get ready for the mind shocker of all. So in my investigations, I also am going to bring up, not just Dr. Emoto, another dot. Connecting the dots, remember? Another dot of evidence. The 99th monkey philosophy. Real quick, quick synapse. They taught one monkey how to wash its fruit. By the time it got to the 99th monkey, this is in the Sea of Japan, by the time it got to the 99th monkey, hundreds of miles away on another uncoached island, uninhabited island, monkeys were starting to wash their fruit on their own. And then it transferred to another island when it reached 99 monkeys on the second island. That's why it's called the 99th monkey philosophy. Monkey see, monkey do is not just within eyesight. It's within the atoms and molecules of the air and the water. The air we breathe and the water we drink. So something is definitely alive. And what I came up with was a most fantastic thing of all. Every one of us have a frequency modulation. We're all made of atoms. So this is what makes some relationships work for a very long time and some relationships only work for a short period of time. It isn't that relationships that get bored of each other. It's that the molecular frequency, the matching, starts to vibrate at different frequencies once you start entangling each other in each other's sex juices, sweat, whatever. Your close proximity, entanglement exists. If you affect one electron, that's shown in the movie What the Bleep, on one side of the planet and entangle them first, introduce the two electrons, and then put the mate to the electron now on the other side of the planet, when you move or force some effect on that first electron, number 2 electron will act immediately, quicker than a nanosecond, which means that is faster than light. So something is able to travel messages faster than light. What is the connection? Dark matter. Dark matter is representative of all of the universe. Energy and matter, the stars, fire, energy, and matter are Earth, computers, us, me. We're all matter. But we do not comprise the whole universe. We live in dark matter. And that dark matter is the vehicle that sends messages to all of us and each other. Nostradamus had a special frequency that enabled him to interpret by looking into, he was looking into water, remember? And able to see the future in bits and pieces. In the Bible, the first book of the Bible is not written by Jews. It was written by Moses, who was brought up an Egyptian initiate. And if you go and read the Egyptian Book of the Dead and compare it to the Bible, you'll see extreme number of similarities. Also, the parting of the Red Sea was done 2,000 years before Moses was born. It's in the story of the golden lotus blossom. Go look it up. It's on the internet. A magician used a wand to part a lake on the Nile in order to retrieve a lotus blossom to a maiden that had lost it in the water. Anyway, I'm putting this puzzle together for you people because if you listen very carefully, forget my other videos because this is December 7th, the anniversary of the Pearl Harbor. I am laying my attack on the United States of America, the evil country, right now. Because if all of you believe me and you connect these dots, you will help me overthrow this government overnight. Now, what will happen when the overthrow takes place? It's not going to be violence. It doesn't have to be. They will surrender unconditionally to me because the only promise I can give them is that out of logic and common sense is I have to take my gold seal and reenact the very same Constitution as it is working right now with no changes because you don't want chaos, completely uncontrolled chaos and anarchy. Well, that's confusing. Look up the word anarchy. Anarchy is not total chaos. There's constructive anarchy and there's destructive anarchy. I'm talking constructive anarchy. So I have to be at the top. And I'm only going to show you, Chuck Norris said this once. He says, you want me to show this to you? I'm only going to show it to you once. And I'm going to say the same thing that he said in that movie. I'm only going to show you how to save your planet once. Then you stay out of my life. You stay out of my business, period. I mean this. Or I will let events happen to all of you that you would not dream could ever happen. There's something that happens to a person that is able to connect all the dots. I see the whole picture. You don't. And it behooves you, every man, woman, and child listening to me on planet Earth, to start following my lead. Because you are keeping all of us avatars separated. Yes, there's more than one of me. And you have attacked all of us for the last time. This is the deal. You give me what I want, like Moses said, let my people go, or you're going to get hit with something really bad, much worse than the 10 plagues of Egypt. Don't screw around with me. You listen to this tape, connect the dots the way I just did, you're going to come to one conclusion. Caesar knows what he's talking about, and he's helping us by helping us connect the dots, showing us proof. Heck with Obama and their top-secret crap and their military killing innocent men, women, and children. You people pay taxes. That's your karma. I warned you people for years, and so did my twin. We both warned you. Don't have any wars. Stop killing innocent men, women, and children. There are alternatives. You didn't listen, did you? So, that's the deal. I'm not going to give you the end of more. There are more connected dots. Yes, much more. I'd have to have a huge seminar. When I see my views go up to in the millions, then I'll do another taping. Otherwise, this is the end of it. Or I commit suicide, die, because you people have killed me already.